So apparently this is Tom Hanks' first Western movie in his entire career. Before this, the closest he even got was voicing Woody in Toy Story. I just found that interesting.
For better days to come.
You can't have her! And I'm taking her home!
While a lot of the nominees on Netflix are more easily available, I was passing by a Redbox and saw it had this movie and figured I'd get it out of the way. To be honest, I tend not to use Netflix as much anymore. I think its user interface is way more of a hassle than Disney Plus or even HBO Max. As for this movie, it's fine. It's never bad. In fact, using a newsreader as a protagonist makes for an interesting story. But in terms of Westerns, it's kind of par for the course. The story deals with said newsreader, former Texan Confederate soldier Captain Jefferson Kyle Kidd, who travels through the Texas territory reading out the news for people, since a lot of people either have trouble reading or aren't included in the newspaper circulation. Along the way, he runs into a young white girl in indigenous garb, later revealed to have been taken and raised by a group of Kiowa people after they killed her parents. Which is a trope common enough in Westerns that I'm curious how often it actually happened, or if it's just another myth about indigenous people to make them sound more threatening. He takes her to Union officials who ask him to take her to the next of kin, which are further out into Texas. Along the way, Kidd learns about the girl, Johanna, although the Kiowa named her Cicada. They only bring that up once. It's a lot more prominent in the book. He then protects her from some guys looking to buy her as a child bride, as well as a group of Texas militiamen looking to cleanse the territory, and making it through a dust storm with the help of some Kiowa along the way. A lot of stuff just kind of happens. There's not really a plot, so to speak. While he does return Johanna to her aunt and uncle, after he returns to San Antonio and finds he doesn't have anything left in his life there, he adopts her for himself and brings her on the road with him. Like I said, this isn't a bad movie. Hanks is good, as per usual, and newcomer Helena Zengel is honestly giving the best performance as a child actor in a Western since Haley Steinfeld in True Grit. Though Steinfeld gives a much stronger performance, Zengel is a really interesting and powerful performance in her own right. She mainly speaks in Kiowa, or I guess whatever the language is. They don't really say what language it is, and I can't tell if it's accurate or not, since the Kiowa people are actually still alive and in that sort of area of Oklahoma and Texas. But I didn't see anything saying one way or the other online whether or not this was accurate. I just have to, take it at face value, and if it's not, I wouldn't be surprised. When we first meet her, Johanna Cicada, she's freaking out because she's lost from the Kiowa and is being taken by this strange old dude and forced to wear strange clothes that she's not used to. And as she and Kidd travel along the road, they do start to form a bond, especially after making it past the child traffickers and Texas militants. Plus, Zengel and Hanks are easily playing off of each other. They work well together as a duo. And it's just kind of sad that the rest of the cast is just there. They're like the reenactors at a historical site, or the character actors on Disney. They're just there to play their roles, and then you completely forget about them. None of them really stand out. As for the categories this was nominated in, I'll say this. James Newton Howard's score at least stood out to me, and it had this really cool Ennio Morricone feel to it, so I give that the solid nomination it does. The sound design and editing never really stood out the way that it did in Sound of Metal, so I think that one's just kind of a gimme that they got. The production design is good, and the prop work and set design feel authentic to the Old West, so that one was fine. And then the cinematography was good, but it never really was amazing. Of course, I think the last time I paid attention to cinematography, it was I can't remember his name. He's the famous cinematographer, the one that did 1917. Shoot. I'll put his name up on the screen because I've completely forgotten it, but that dude completely, ran away with the cinematography. He absolutely earned it. Plus, he's been a fantastic cinematographer for his entire career. This was good, but I never thought about the cinematography. It didn't really stand out to me, but you know, I don't mind it getting the nomination either. So overall, if this won anything, it would at least be decently earned, although I think sound design should go to Sound of Metal, personally. If you haven't yet and you want to check this out, I would probably wait until it gets picked up by a service like Amazon Prime Video or Netflix. It's already on Netflix outside of the US, so if you're outside the US or you have access to international Netflix, you can check it out there. But I don't think it's something you need to rush out and find. It's not that good. It's just good. It's decent. Until next time, I'm John Bailey, and if only we had Tom Hanks reading us the news every day. Wouldn't that be nice?